Cabana, the Kennedy Space Center Director. Dr. Jim Green from NASA headquarters. Hi. Mackenzie Davis. Nicole Stott, retired astronaut. And Chiwetel Ejiofor from the motion picture The Martian. So with that, we'll be happy to take any questions that you have. You can just raise your hand, and so we don't turn this into a total free fall. There's one. Yeah, go ahead.
What do we got?
Do you have a question?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Coming off of 12 Years a Slave, how big of this was a transition to something out of space, literally?
It was pretty different, yeah. You know, this was a great project. I'd worked with Ridley before on American Gangsters, so I was really excited to talk to him about it. And initially we talked in kind of very broad terms about it, and then reading Andy Weir's book and then Drew Goddard's script, you know, it was just such an amazing merging of fact and fiction that I got really excited about this idea and the ideas of course, going to Mars and the advancements that are already been made. And you know, it just seemed like just a deeply interesting thing to mix, and then with, you know, Ridley's sort of incredible imagination, and you know, it just became a very exciting project. Very different, of course, from 12 Years, but just as thrilling.
What would you say is kind of your biggest trepidation or concern going in, maybe from an ignorance level of just not knowing anything? I'm not a scientist person. I work in words every day, so I would be completely scared to go into something so scientific.
No, I think, you know, like I say, I think it was because there was so much research that had been done and so detailed with the work that Andy Weir had done. I think he worked and spoken to people at JPL and NASA, you know, and so everything had this kind of feel of being just sort of deeply realistic, and then and I think all of that was extracted in a very dramatic style from Drew. So I think, and to be in the hands of Ridley Scott, like I say, you know, you're in pretty safe hands. So I was excited to dive in.
Question?
Bob, James here for today. You think this movie is helpful for NASA to kind of, you know, get people interested in the Mars mission, even though it's a long way away, or are you concerned at all that, you know, once the enthusiasm about this movie dies down, you know, you're going to be back on your own?
Sure. No, I think it's great, James. As with Ejiofor, I couldn't put the book down when I picked it up. And it is all very possible. The technology, and it is technology that we're working on right now. And so I think it stimulates that imagination. It shows that this is a reality. I mean, that launch pad right over there. One day we're going to launch humans to Mars from that launch pad. And I think that's outstanding. The vehicle is going to be assembled in that building right over there on the mobile launcher that's back behind it. And it's all in work now. We've got an awesome plan as we work out and develop what we need. But as Jim mentioned during the brief, we've got a lot to do in this proving ground to develop the technologies and get the reliability that we need to actually go there. But you know, it's in our DNA. It's something that we need to do, and I think this helps capture that. We're going to just keep pressing ahead. So I don't think it's going to be a hindrance. If anything, it's going to continue to stimulate that energy, that growth in science, technology, and our desire to explore.
How many more missions or orbits do we have before the projected date of getting a human to Mars in 2021?
Well, we're not going to go to Mars in 2021.
Okay.
We're looking to go to Mars sometime in the 2030s. It's a long ways off yet. But as far as developing the SLS rocket, we flew the first test flight on the capsule last December 5th. It was flawless. We're looking to fly the rocket with the capsule with no crew in it in September timeframe, late 2018. And then we're still targeting 2021 to fly it on a test flight with a crew. And then there'll be missions beyond that as we operate in this proving ground in and around and beyond the moon, as we learn how to operate away from planet Earth once again to be able to do the mission that we need to do to go to Mars.
We mentioned earlier there's 50 years of research here for Mars specifically. How do you feel today, knowing what you know about Mars and the future of it?
I'll let Jim comment on that.
Well, we know an enormous amount about Mars. We know more about Mars than any other planet besides the Earth. And we have to do that. You know, human spaceflight is not Star Trek. It's not go where no man has gone before, as they say. You know, even in the Apollo era, we studied the solar wind, the conditions around the moon. We landed on the moon.
from a scientific point of view, we really understood a lot more about the environment before humans go. And we're doing exactly that at Mars. Our rovers are making fantastic discoveries every day, you know, and that's going to continue. We have at least another decade or a little bit more to be able to continue on with our science experiments, to be able to prepare for humans to go to Mars.